Bound by human culture, this magically misunderstood plant has now earned a place in public discourse. A platform for your cannabis learning. Welcome to the Cannabis Closet.
Kia ora, Hues of Green whānau. Welcome back to Hues of Green and the Cannabis Closet. We're welcoming the brother Rick into the Cannabis Closet today. Thanks for coming, bro.
No worries.
For people watching at home, Rick is the owner of Slick Burger, awesome burger joint out there on Ferry Road. And we want to get Rick in today just to share his experience with us about being a business owner that does support cannabis and law reform. And just to so you people watching at home can sort of get a bit of an idea about what it's like for any small business owner in this sort of climate that we're in right now. So once again, welcome to the Cannabis Closet, Rick. Thanks for being here, man.
No
And I guess we can start off with, like, where did you get the idea to have such an open cannabis theme to your restaurant?
It didn't really start that way. Like, I kind of, when I was creating the menu and stuff, I had some crazy burger names and shit, and I was like, oh, I had a 420 burger, and then heaps of people were saying to me, oh, I don't think you should do that, man, like, don't be that open, you know,
Sure.
and, but yeah, once I did it, and I realised that was sort of straight away, no one was opposing it, no one was giving me grief,
Cool.
so I just was like, well, that's what I'm passionate about, and then it just, you know, within the first sort of 3 months, it just became that culture, you know, like,
Yeah.
I just thought, yeah, I mean, fuck it, just
Yeah,
do it,
have
you
a
know?
crack. Like, someone's got to lead the charge. In
Yeah,
that, right?
well, yeah, I just thought, well, I'm not afraid to let people know what...
Sure.
I mean, it was more of a personal thing, like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm into and put it out there,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of people that are into it, so...
Absolutely. Well,
yeah.
But that kind of
Yeah.
bravery, man, that's exactly where the idea of the Cannabis Closet comes from for us. Like, we thought, for a lot of people, that issue leading up to the referendum was about being afraid to be open about their cannabis use, you know?
yeah.
And I think what you guys are doing at Slick Burger is exactly that. You're paving the way for people to have that courage to maybe be honest with people in their lives about their cannabis use.
Yeah, well, I mean, it definitely opens up a lot more conversation, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that when people see that it's okay to rep it, or, you know, I mean, it's not even that I'm saying that it's okay to rep it, it's more just like, I'm just putting it out there,
Yeah.
and if you're keen for it, then, you know, like, yeah, I just, it's never, no one's ever come to me and been like, man, like, what the hell is this?
Sure.
Like, right,
Sure.
you know, I think probably a little bit overwhelmed, but yeah, apart from that, it's
For
been
sure.
fine, you know.
So how long has Slick Burger's been operating for now?
We opened in September 2016.
Awesome.
So yeah, so it's just clicked over 4 years.
And in that time, have you ever had any trouble from, like, the cops or anything like that?
To be honest, man, like, a lot of police officers come in and, like, they don't have an issue. Sometimes I'll get the old cop say to me, oh man, I like the wall over there, you
Okay.
know, like, we've
Yeah.
got all the strains and stuff, and
Yeah.
to be fair, man, like, most of the time, if I've ever got the chance to, I mean, we're talking like one or two cops that I
Sure.
would
Yeah.
have even talked to, but like outside of the shop, but they're always just like, man, we don't have an issue with cannabis, you know, like, that's not what we're
Yeah.
out here looking for, you know. I mean, they're looking for people that are abusing harder drugs
Sure.
and
Yeah.
causing more issues in society, because it's definitely not the cannabis users, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess, well, that can lead pretty nicely into the next question then, like, how you feel about the recent referendum results.
Yeah, I was trying to be realistic the whole time and think, you know, it'll be cool if it goes through, but I understand the many range of objections that, you know, like,
Yeah.
society has. Like, I mean, it's not even just the whole health side of things. You've got a lot of people that has been their existence for such a long time. I think it's quite scary to think, like, for them personally, oh, how is this going to affect me? You know, like,
Definitely.
I think, yeah, I was trying to think the whole time, yeah, this is going to work, this is going to be fine, but yeah, I think in the back of my head, I kind of knew,
You
man,
kinda
you know?
knew?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I didn't get my hopes up too much, but I was prepared either way.
I
you know?
think that was a lot of us, eh? Like, I was trying to remain optimistic without getting my hopes up too high as well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You don't, like, you know, you don't want to start running around throwing joints around and, like,
No,
you know,
no.
it's just kind of, yeah, I mean, for for me personally, I was kind of like, well, either way, nothing really changes for me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, yeah.
So had the results been different and like the country gave a yes vote, would that have made any possible changes to your business and how you operate? Was there anything in that space that you would have liked to get into if the laws had come through?
It was kind of, there was negatives and pros about like doing it, you know, because one, had it become legalized or, you know, decriminalized or whatever, the way that we currently, I mean, it's not that we're advertising cannabis, but the way that we promote it probably would have had to have been tamed back because, you know, like, I mean, it's like anything. There's certain legalities against advertising and like, so I was kind of like, if it did become legalized, what would we have to do? And that would probably be toned down quite severely. But at the same time, I was almost like, well, I'm not going to, like, you know, like I wasn't really worried, but yeah, I would have liked to have moved into like maybe a consumption venue of some kind. Like, I mean, we don't currently sell alcohol, so it was like the perfect opportunity to go, well, you know, we'd rather see people consuming this and under a regulated space. But I still was a little bit like up in the air about that as well because I don't know the legalities about being in a food business or what you have to offer. You know, I guess it would just be like a liquor license but a cannabis license. So we were kind of set up for it. I was definitely prepared to do it, you know.
So I guess like a lot of people out there, there were sort of potential plans for if the vote went through, but of course you've got to carry on business as usual, and the result we got, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a pretty gutting day to hear the results, you know.
By such a close margin as well,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, you know, like, but it was cool to see that still, you know, even though it didn't come across the line, there's still a lot of people out there that obviously wanted it to happen and like still supportive of, say, us as like a pro cannabis business and things like that, you know. So yeah, I mean, the whole consumption venue thing would have been pretty much up our alley, you know, and we 100%. we would have been able to provide food, we would have been able to provide a safe space, like, you know, so yeah, definitely gutting.
It is, isn't it? But like I saw actually just yesterday on on Radio New Zealand, they were talking about another referendum coming up. They're thinking, or they've proposed to have a second referendum, but about decriminalisation rather than legalisation. Like, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's what I was kind of hoping would just be, you know, like, instead of this big let's legalise referendum, more just, like, decriminalise it. I mean, just like alcohol, you know, put laws in place around, you know, maybe driving and smoking, whatever, you know, like, just kind of just a bit more, like, keep it, normalise it a little bit, you know, so that we knew the restrictions around what we could do and what we couldn't do, and maybe just police that side of things and then go from there. But yeah, it's do
you think if we have a second referendum and they just call it decriminalisation that it would pass?
Yeah, I think so, man. Like, because I think you would cover all genres then, because, you know, you've got the hardcore people that are dead against it, but if they knew that they could police it more, then they would probably not have an issue with that, you know. And I mean, most, I don't really know the statistics, but I'm sure a lot of the people that were anti-cannabis becoming legalized probably consume liquor, you know, like, so
it's a pretty high chance, I reckon.
They should, you know, I mean, we obviously know that cannabis is better for you than alcohol, but like, to be able to be seen in the same regard would be better than nothing, you know.
Big step, right?
Yeah, definitely, man.
So it's like, as you said earlier, it's sort of about having the conversations, getting people who wouldn't usually talk about it to at least acknowledge it and have a chat about it. And I think that's where the idea of these conversations we're having right now come from. Mm-hmm. Businesses like your own that has that sort of open advertising, it encourages people to talk about it. Places like Cosmic Corner, for example, they encourage people to have these conversations. So like, these conversations are super important, and I'm guessing you voted yes in the referendum. Mm-hmm. What was your main reason for voting yes, if you don't mind me asking?
Purely just because, I mean, I can't be pro-cannabis and not support any movement that could mean that I can be more open with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... I mean, anything that I could personally do to help push that along, then yeah, I'm all for it, you know?
Awesome.
That's kind of why, I guess, the shop became so heavily influenced with cannabis, and it just because that's kind of what people wanted to see, you know, like, and it also broke that stigma of being like, oh, I don't think we should do that, man, like, you know, so to be able to say, you know, to be able to moving forward think, oh, you know, I could probably, instead of just repping this, actually be helping people to source it, or being able to, you know, not put the people in such awkward positions where they have to maybe go to tinny houses, whatever, wherever people source their cannabis from that they're not really that stoked to be doing, you know. So yeah, it was like it. Yeah, I've definitely wanted to just keep progressing with that, you know, like as instead of just having pictures of it, having like cannabis topicals and things like that, and just anything really, you know.
It's because there's so much out there that people like you and I might know about more than others, but needs to be shared with the greater population, right? That people are so unaware of. Yeah,
and it is hard in our spot because it's like, you know, we're pro cannabis, but we're also like pro-professionalism, like, you know, so we have to kind of keep it, you know, obviously it's all about the food, and there's a lot of people that do need educating with cannabis, and it's hard, man, because, you know, myself, my work colleagues and stuff like that, we're all busy as fuck, like, you know, like, sometimes people really want to have that conversation, and they just want to learn about it, or they want to learn about a particular thing that we could probably help them with, but it's just such a hard spot, you know, like, it's, I've kind of got to put the business first, and then that comes second, but in some way that is the business, and it's like, how do you make time for that? It's a hard spot.
How do you balance those things while like maintaining your as you say, your professional business outlook and try and support the movement that's going on?
It's we've just tried to, I mean, there's a lot, like, even in store, we have a lot of information about hemp and cannabis and different, like, you know, the medicinal side of it, CBD, all that kind of stuff. Like, you can learn about all that stuff. We can probably point you in a better direction to learn faster, or there's people that can help out with that kind of stuff. And it's just, it's sort of like there's a fine line between, like, going too far and you still want to support the customers who want to know about that stuff. So, it is a hard spot, man.
Oh, it is, but you guys are doing an awesome job, man. So
trying.
Well, that's all we can do, right? Just try. So, like, I one final question then, like, and this one's a bit trickier. So, if there was one piece of information or one thing you could say to someone who was, like, really anti-cannabis to maybe just increase their knowledge on the subject, what do you think's a really important piece of information that could be shared with someone like that?
I'd say, in my personal experience of dealing with, you know, anti-cannabis people in society, is just when they learn about the medicinal side of it, and when they can see that it is going to help, like, you know, if they can see the benefits and the actual real time actively working with someone, you know, like, we all see them videos of, like, people with Tourette's, or you know, they having seizures and stuff like that, and they have some CBD oil or THC oil and they instantly change and things like that. I think with the medicinal side of things is the best way to push it, because like, if they can see that it actually helps people, then you can start to change their mind. But I think, I mean, it really comes down to, like, personal research, and it's kind of hard because, I mean, even you or I, there's probably things in life that we're, like, not into, or, you know, having a strong opinion against about certain things, and it would be, and I kind of look at it like, how could someone change my mind about something? So I kind of try and think what could sway me, and, you know, like, and it's usually, like, hard facts, man, you know, like, or strong evidence to say, look how it's helping this person, and look what it's actively doing to this person. And I think that the more that we can show people that, or tell people and give true accounts of what is actually happening and what's real, then I think people will go away from that conversation and be like, maybe that's not so bad, or like, I mean, even for me at the shop, I mean, I want to say that probably, at least 60 to 70% of my customers are probably like cannabis consumers. I mean, that's just a guess, but there's a lot that probably aren't as well, and they're not against it, man. Like, it's pretty in your face. Like, I mean, and that doesn't stop them from coming in, and it's just like, once again, like, just trying to break that stigma, like, just being out there, talking about it, not trying to like hide in the shadows. And if the more open you can be about it and the more people can see it, then I think that mindset will start to change.
Yeah, primo, bro. Really, really good stuff. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for joining us on the Cannabis Closet. That's another episode of the Cannabis Closet for you guys watching at home. If you're looking to follow us, guys, jump online to Insta at Hues of Green NZ. You can also check out our website www.huesofgreen.co.nz, or follow us on our YouTube channel at Hues of Green NZ. If you want to get down to Slick Burgers, I 100% recommend you do. You can check out Rick and the team on Instagram at slick_burgers, and they've actually just released a brand new app available on Android and iOS. You can check it out. Go into your app store and just type in Slick Burger, and that'll give you everything you need to know about the awesome work that Rick and the team are doing down there. So head along to Slick Burger on Ferry Road, get yourself a burger. You won't be disappointed. And thanks again for tuning in, team. Cheers. Well, bro, thanks for that, man.
The Cannabis Closet.